What's up, guys, and welcome back to another NBA News and Analytic Commentary episode. Today is July 2nd, 2021, and I'm going to be talking about Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals taking place in Milwaukee between the home team and the Milwaukee Bucks and the Atlanta Hawks. And the Bucks were able to win this game without their superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo, and they won this game by double digits, and they take a 3-2 series lead heading back to Atlanta on Saturday. Now, Trae Young for the Hawks also did not play. Reason being is because whenever he tripped over the referee, he rolled his ankle, and that is his reason for not playing. Except I believe his injury is not worse than Giannis's. Giannis's is more serious in my opinion, and that is why he didn't play. Except before the game, Giannis made a tweet that said, "This is our house, be loud." It was along the lines of that, and that's exactly what the Milwaukee Bucks did. Brook Lopez had one of his best nights ever since he became a Milwaukee Buck. He dropped 33 points. He only missed 2 shots the entire game. Drew Holiday played very well, and so did Chris Middleton. And Bobby Portis, he had many trips to the free throw line. PJ Tucker hit some clutch threes whenever they needed him to, and this team stood up to the plate and they hit a grand slam whenever they were asked to. Whenever it was clutch time, they came up clutch, and now the Hawks have to win 2 games in a row to advance to the NBA Finals to play the Phoenix Suns, whereas the Milwaukee Bucks can afford to lose a Game 6 if they win a Game 7 at home. Now, do I think Trae Young would be back for a Game 7? I would say yes, and I feel like he'd be back a little bit prematurely, but I still feel like they'd put him in the lineup. But Giannis, on the other hand, I don't know if they could do that. I don't know if Mike Budenholzer would do that, and I don't know if he'd even be ready for that. So it's very interesting. We'll have to see what happens. But yes, the Milwaukee Bucks take a 3-2 series lead, and statistically, if the team that wins Game 5 and goes up 3-2 has an 84% chance of winning the series, unless if your name is the Brooklyn Nets. Milwaukee, let's go. I'm so happy that you did that for us. You beat the super team. But yes, that is where we stand right now in this series. I'll give you more updates on Saturday after Game 7, so Sunday morning you can expect a video involving Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Like I said, it will be taking place in Atlanta, Georgia. And the next thing I'd like to talk about is, well, there is nothing to talk about because there's no other game on because the Western Conference Finals is over. So there is no NBA basketball tonight, and which is sad, but hey, at least the team that I wanted to advance in the Phoenix Suns, at least they advanced, because I like to see the smaller markets advance, and the Clippers simply have a larger market than the Phoenix Suns, and that's why I'm glad that the Phoenix Suns won this game. I also want Chris Paul to win his first NBA championship because he's 37 years old, first of all, and second of all, he played 123 playoff games his entire career without one of them being in an NBA Finals game. That's the most all-time. Karl Malone had 114, and John Stockton had 107. Those are the 2 closest, both of which played for the Utah Jazz, but they finally made an NBA Finals appearance in 1996 against the Chicago Bulls, in which case they lost. And that gave Michael Jordan his 4th championship and began the second three-peat of the 90s for the Bulls. So it's unfortunate we don't have anything to talk about that, but there is a story I would like to talk about, and that involves The Last Dance, and that's Scottie Pippen. And Scottie Pippen claimed that his head coach, Phil Jackson, in Game 3 of a playoff series in 1994, he tried to claim that him picking Tony Kukoc, who was a very clutch player, a very young player, and really started the European expansion of the NBA, he took the final shot instead of Scottie Pippen. And keep in mind, this was 1994, so Michael Jordan was playing baseball in the minor leagues, so it wasn't as if Michael Jordan was on the team. He claimed that Phil Jackson giving the final shot to Tony Kukoc was just a racist move, and it only had to do with the color of their skin. And I think that's a bunch of BS if you ask me. I don't care. both of which were great players. Obviously, all-time, Scottie Pippen was the better player, but Scottie Pippen had 2 chances to make very important shots in the fourth quarter, 2 possessions in a row, and he missed both of them. So there's no reason for Phil Jackson to give someone who was already a number 2 guy on the roster with Michael Jordan, and he could be a number 1 on any other team. I understand that, and that was definitely a luxury that Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls had. But when you miss 2 in a row and you're not used to getting the shot like that, meanwhile Tony Kukoc in the regular season made a couple of game winners, who are you going to give the ball to? I would give it to Kukoc, and that's exactly what Phil Jackson did. Now, you can use other evidence of racism against Phil Jackson, except if you want to call him a racist, but don't use a decision like that to call somebody a racist. That's a basketball move, and I don't even believe Phil Jackson is racist, but even if he was, that's terrible evidence to support Scottie Pippen, and he's just trying to get into the headlines. He also mentioned how Kevin Durant was a better scorer than LeBron James, except, you know, he will never be on the level of a LeBron James. And he basically said that the way that Kevin Durant missed the final shot was unclutch. And then Kevin Durant called him out on Twitter and said he's the guy that, you know, cried in the locker room because he didn't get the final shot and threatened to leave the team. And Kevin Durant always claps back. He's never afraid to clap back. And honestly, when most players would sit there and take it or say nothing or just respectfully say, I disagree, Kevin Durant comes out and says how he feels. And whether you like the guy or not, that is admirable, as long as you don't do it in a way that personally attacks someone else physically or emotionally. And I don't know if Kevin Durant did or didn't do that. It really just depends on judgment of the person that's reading the tweet. So let me know what you guys think of that story. Do you think Scottie Pippen is right? I mean, I don't know how you can think he's right, unless if you think everything is racist, which if you do, that just makes normal racism laughable, and that's not what we want in this country or in sports or anywhere in this world. Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm Yo Boy Meatloaf, and I'm checking out. Until the next video.